literally, there was just so many bullets being fired throughout this whole movie. It's like, I mean, a double tap is a 1-2. This is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hello and welcome to Library Grindhouse. The only ticket you need is your library card. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah. Today we'll be giving you our top 5 reasons why to watch the 1996 film Last Man Standing.
Man, my notes are so wrong. All right, Leah, why don't you get in with that spoiler-free plot summary?
John Smith, a gunslinger for hire, finds himself in the middle of a prohibition ghost town who is dealing with the fallout of a war between an Irish and an Italian mafia. All the best to mess with them and kill a little time for this quick-drawing hired help.
But will this Yojimbo make off with a fistful of dollars?
I know, right? This movie was...
I mean, they at least credit Akira Kurosawa that this is, from the story by them, which is just hilarious. Because, I mean, Yojimbo, the samurai film, that basically this is a complete remake of, as is Fistful of Dollars. I mean, it was basically Akira Kurosawa loved American Westerns, and he wanted to make like a Japanese Western, and now his movie's been remade multiple times as Westerns, or I'm not sure, Prohibition Western, or whatever this movie would be. All right, Leah, what's your number 5 reason to watch this film?
So if you enjoy action, and you enjoy some gunslinging, this movie is for you, but I will say a reason to watch it is the comical amount of bullets they use to shoot one person. One person.
Wait, in multiple episodes, you have advocated making sure that the person's dead.
Yes, double tap, yes. This goes beyond that, though. You have a magazine of 7 bullets in there, and somehow they're able to shoot 50 bullets at one person.
How do you know those particular firearms only hold 7 bullets, Leah?
I counted as he was putting in the magazine.
How'd you count them? Do you have X-ray vision?
I paused. You can see them on the line. Anyway, I will say, it was hysterical how they did not care. Mind it being Prohibition time, I'm sure bullets were semi-pricey, you would think. I mean, I guess he's a gunslinger for hire, and it's the mafia, so I'm sure they don't really care.
I'm not sure how much he had in that case, but yeah, it must have been all bullets.
But literally, there was just so many bullets being fired throughout this whole movie. It's like, I mean, a double tap is a 1-2. This is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, all right. I think I have more I can say on that.
It's comical, though.
It's great.
It was funny.
The bullets fly. My number 5 is pistols that knock people across the street, and overall stunt work in general.
Yep.
Like doing huge, just giant wire pulls, and the guy's plinking him with at 9mm bullets at most. And it's just like, the dude's just flying across the street.
Well, there was one where he shot him twice. It went bang, bang, really fast. And this guy was standing there, and he just blew back and went out a window. How?
No, okay, so here's the thing. What? I mean, and also no one was two-fisting the handguns, guns akimbo style in Prohibition area. And here's the deal. This was 1996. You know what was big in 1996? Hong Kong action films. They discovered John Woo. They brought John Woo over to do Hard Target with Van Damme, and 96, I believe, is the year that Broken Arrow came out with Travolta and Slater, directed by Woo. And so, two-fisting the automatic pistols, and guns akimbo, and having the massive people flying backwards when they're shot thing was a Hong Kong action staple. And so this was basically we're bringing Hong Kong action to this throwback plot. It's kind of fun, but at the same time, you're it doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel right.
You hit the nail on the head. This movie was fun, but I was just there's something, just, what?
Anyway, what's your number 4?
Number 4, Bruce Willis's Batman voice.
We need somebody nice and neat like you.
I'll think about it.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't really do a Batman, I call it the Batman voice because I'm pretty sure everyone does, but just his
noir voiceover.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
So much voiceover. It's kind of fun. He does a decent job.
What does he say?
Then I got to look at her, and I knew it was going to be fun.
Drunk or sober, I got no complaints. Even if I did get my hands dirty on the way.
Literally, it's that grovel, I'm gonna go down a whole octave, voice that oh man.
Yeah, at least he didn't go full Bale and just
Yeah.
like, fear me! or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. What's your number 4, Jesse?
Number 4, the production design was pretty solid, especially the costuming.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't
yeah.
Oscar caliber, but I was like, people look pretty cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that.
And like young Leslie Mann is like the flapper.
Yeah,
prostitute.
Which when I saw her, I thought she was gonna have a bigger part because I'm used to her nowadays. She's a bigger actress
Sure,
now.
yeah.
But I was just like, oh, Leslie Mann, she's hysterical. And then it was like,
Oh, she's gone.
done. Yeah, yeah, I'm done. I will say they did a good job at doing like the slight costume changes between the Irish mafia and the Italian mafia.
It
like,
was pretty kind of subtle,
even, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Even just the colors. Like the Irish mafia tend to have a little bit more of a lighter tan, and the Italians had darker. Okay, so my number 3. I love Sin City. I love noir films, and I feel
Sure.
like this was literally Sin City meets Western Prohibition era.
Yeah.
Minus like the black and white and certain color noirish,
The
you
style,
know, yeah, the
yeah,
style.
noir style,
But if
yeah.
you like Sin City and you like the Prohibition era, this movie is for you. What's
Cool.
your number 3?
The Ry Cooder score. You loved the metal soundtrack of Wolf Cop a
Yes.
while back, and I thought the soundtrack was pretty great.
I will
I
agree.
was like, when it got really going, I'm like, this gets my blood pumping a little bit. I like this. Leah, number 2.
So my number 2 is Christopher Walken's Irish accent and red hair.
I thought you were the best. No, just the best looking.
Oh, I
Bright.
forgot he did try to do a little bit of an accent.
Bright red hair too. You can't really see it most of the time because he has a hat on, but the scene that he doesn't have a hat on, the bathtub scene, it is bright red.
To his credit, he doesn't say a lot.
No, he doesn't.
And doesn't need.
No, they had to show there was an Irish mafia and there was an Italian mafia in this town, and the reason why the town is so dilapidated and so ghost townish is because both those families are feuding and they pretty much run everyone out. Everyone's kind of scared except for those 2 families. And I feel like Bruce Willis's character just like messes with them the entire time.
That's the whole thing. He's playing both sides.
Yeah, but
That's his whole point.
But so did he stumble upon this town, or was he hired to get rid of both mafias?
He was literally driving through.
So, see, my thing, I think it would be a funny twist, is if he was hired to get rid of both mafia and he knew he couldn't, like, both families, and he couldn't do it all alone, so he just decided to be like, oh, well, they did this, and actually it was him, and oh, no, they would retaliate against each other, and then everyone would
kinda
die.
did that.
I know, but that's what I mean. Like, what if he was actually paid to do that, and it's just not spoken of? It wasn't just a random driving through the town. I was just
Yeah.
like, that's genius. Genius, Bruce Willis. What's your number 2 reason, Jesse?
Christopher Walken as a scarred villain and Bruce Dern as the sheriff.
If you're really planning on sticking around, don't be coming to me for help.
Yes.
He is awesome as
Yes.
the sheriff. I love him.
I
as
agree
the
with
sheriff.
that.
And Chris Walken, just a great scarred villain. I mean,
He is.
I mean, okay, I didn't notice the hair because I was just waiting for him to kill everybody in the room every scene. I'm just waiting. I mean, he felt like he could do anything at any time.
Well, I was like, hey, he's the only guy who carries around a Tommy gun underneath his like huge trench coat. 'Cause-
Somehow hidden, like up his sleeve
well, that's
or
what I mean. I
something.
was like, how is that hidden? I actually had that in my notes. I said, how is that hidden? But when you look, he's got like 2 trench coats on, like at the same time. So he's probably holding it, but you really can't tell because they go all the way down. And one hand's always in a pocket. So I feel like this one's holding the gun. He's just able to.
Yeah. Now, does he have one of those like cool wrist guns, like in Desperado or like Taxi Driver, where it's like on a slide?
I was just, just hit a button and it slides
That's
down.
just
You're
the
ready for
coolest
it.
thing in Desperado, where it's just like whoosh, and the guns like pop out. And it's like, that is so cool. Like, it's so cool. Another movie from like this time, I think 1995, where it did Hong Kong movies where he like pushes a guy off him and is just and like juggling him in the air with his pistols. Like, I mean,
Juggling him in the air with his pistol.
yeah, it's so
The
cool.
force of the
but it's
pistol just
so
keeps him
cool.
floating.
And he's like whipping his handguns when he fires, and it's just like, it's the dumbest thing. It's the stupidest thing you could possibly do in a shootout like that. But it looks so cool. Like, whoosh, whoosh. Like, it's just another one of those movies where it's all style. Well, Leah, what's your number 1 reason?
I think you should watch The Last Man Standing because I told you so. I told you to. I tried to put 2 and so together because that's the way my voice is working today, but I told you so. You need to watch it. What about you, Jesse?
And I say to watch it because I said so. It drags a little bit, I'll admit, and the action is a little like incongruous with what's going on. Doesn't quite feel right, but there's enough going on here that if you enjoy Bruce Willis movies, especially his dour later work, where he just isn't having any fun, as well as decent character work from people like Bruce Dern and Chris Walken. If you like Chris Walken, you owe it to yourself to see this movie.
You have to if you like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, I mean, just for that alone. I mean, the production design's solid, and the action scenes are pretty fun. And there's brutal scenes. I mean, it's just one of those things where they don't hold back, which I guess I appreciated in terms of like, I was like genuinely worried for characters in this movie, which doesn't always happen in these, because I mean, even Fistful of Dollars, I mean, he felt like he was superhuman, Clint Eastwood in that movie, and
I agree.
Things. So
I feel like this is actually like you said, Bruce Willis actually gets hurt. You don't know what's going to happen to the main character.
He's still vulnerable. Like in Die Hard, that's what made Die Hard great, is because he was a vulnerable hero.
Yeah.
And so later on, when McClane is like throwing, cars at helicopters and blowing them up, it's like you forgot what was great about Die Hard, was that this guy wasn't a superhero who's invincible. Like, he was a very like fallible, and you never
he
knew
could
if he
be
make
hurt.
it.
Yeah, you didn't know whether or not he was actually going to die, and it was going to be one of the last movies type thing. That's what I always thought.
And like Die with a Vengeance, he gets really, really hurt. He's all bloody and stuff by the end of that movie. Like, he survives, but it's just like, oh my gosh. Like,
well, even in this one, Bruce Willis, like when I don't want to give too much away, but like when he's hurt and he still pulls that thing like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, I'm hurt, but I've got a job to finish.
Right.
Like, he does one of those things, and you're just like, oh, like it kind of brings you that joy that, oh, the hero is rising again.
Right.
So
yeah, it's quite a movie. It is worth seeing. It is worth seeing. Well, those are our reasons to check out Last Man Standing. So head on over to Hoopla, check it out for yourself. And for Live at Grindhouse, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Leah.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.